Alright guys, today I want to talk about white background images. I want to show you my custom setup that I use here in the studio daily basis to shoot white background images. And this setup here, this is not built overnight. This is years of knowledge compressed into that little area in here. I have some details that I want to show you today that I have applied to my workflow in order to get the nicest looking product images in the most efficient way as possible. And why efficient way? It's because white background images are coming with a very low price. And in order to survive in this business, you need to be efficient, you need to be fast, you need to be able to shoot large amount of products during the very short period of time. And I have my setup built up so that I'm able to shoot different types of products in the fastest way as possible for me. Because as soon as you start adjusting your lights, the power of the lights or the position for the lights, then you start losing time. And this means money. So it's important to have it fine-tuned as it is like that. And then you can have proper results in a short period of time. All right, let's get started. First things first, my camera is already turned on, connected to my computer, and for tethering I'm using Capture One. This is already the very first step that you need to take. Connect your camera to the computer because it is much easier to see large screen. You can spot all the errors and defects on this monitor rather than using the small LCD that is on the camera. So first step, connect your camera to the computer. You can use your laptop or whatever you have at your home or in your studio. Now, let's talk about the setup. This is a rather simple setup. I don't have any rocket science in here. This is 3-light setup. I have 2 lights on the sides and also one on the background. And then I have my table with a white surface, and I recommend to have this white surface glossy, either if it is glass or a plexiglass. Make it glossy, because then you can have those beautiful reflections under the product and you can make beautiful shadows or gradients, and it will look much better when you're using this as a backshot. Then moving on from the table, I have those diffusion materials, and for that I'm using white plexi board. And this material is available in any average hardware store. I'm using this material instead of softboxes. I could have just softbox attached to the light and that's it, but comparing to the softbox, this material is white and even, and what is the most important is that it doesn't have any wrinkles on it. If I take the softbox, then this white fabric that is attached to the softbox is having wrinkles. And in some cases when the product is very glossy, and especially if it is dark and glossy, then you start to see all those defects that are visible on the light. So that's why I'm using these white plexi boards, just to get beautiful, even reflection on the product. And what is also important is that this line is smooth, sharp, and it gives me very good results when shooting glossy products. And from here on, those boards I have attached to this setup so that I'm using only one C-stand. In the beginning I was using 2 light stands on the both sides. I had one, and then I was having clamps on those stands, and then I was able to hold those plexi boards. But now, much easier way is to have only one light stand. You have more space in your studio, and you can have clamps, super clamps attached to the C-stand, and this way you can hold 2 boards with only one light stand. This is very clever little step that I have here. And then moving on, I have a diffusion material on the background. And the reason why I don't use just white paper on the wall, like I could do in here, is that I want to point the light towards the camera. And when I'm pointing the light towards the camera, then with some products that are transparent, I get this beautiful glow inside the product. If I would shoot against the wall and I illuminate the white background on the wall, then I don't get this beautiful gradient in the bottle. I get the bottle illuminated properly, but the gradient is not that strong. So that's why I'm using this diffusion material, and my flash is pointed towards the camera. And on the diffusion material, I also have those black boards on the sides. These are little helpers that I use in order to bring up a bit more contrast, because they are blocking some of the light that is coming from the background, and therefore I'm able to create more contrast look for my products. I will show you that during the test shoot, but this is right now how it is for me. So that's pretty much it. I have my 3 lights already turned on, diffusion materials clamped onto one C-stand on the side here, glossy table surface, and then diffusion material on the background with black guards that are giving me more contrast. And now let's take the first product. Let's try and see how does it look when we are actually shooting different things. I have brought a bunch of different products in here in the studio just to show you how are the results when using this kind of setup. So for the first product, I want to use this black deodorant, and it is metal and it has some golden elements on the label, so it is very interesting to see how does it look with this simple layout here. So let's put it in place. I think something in here. That should be in the middle enough. And for a start, we start without the flashes. Let's take one shot and see what we have here. And it is nice black image, which means we don't have any ambient light that could affect my image. So now, next step, turn on the remote and let's take the shot. And what we see here is already very beautiful product image. This is pretty much ready image and we don't need to do anything else with that. Only thing right now I would do is to add a little bit light maybe onto the label, and that's it. This is already beautiful. We have so nice reflection on the side, on both sides, and edges are looking nice and beautiful. So what we have here is already pretty much perfect product image. This is all we need. In most cases, I don't need to do anything else. I will just cut it out and that's it. And here I can show you also the reason why you should have glossy surface, glossy white surface underneath the product, is that you see this beautiful reflection here. You can keep it later on. When you are cutting your product out onto the white background, then you can cut out the product as it is here, and then also you can cut out a piece of this reflection and make it look like this product is on white background and having this nice reflection underneath. And this is something that you can't really create in post-production that easily, because when you're mirroring this product and making this reflection in Photoshop, then it doesn't look natural and you will have this visual error in there. But in here you can already get it in camera, so that's perfect. Now, why am I using those black flags behind there? I can show you here right away how much different does it make if I take these off. So the point why I'm using those black flags are the edges. Edges here are a bit more contrasty when isolating the background light. So let's take these off for a moment just to show you what happens. Let's take it off. and also the other one. And now let's take another shot, and we can now see that if you are comparing to the previous image, then look at the sides of the product. On the sides you see that on the previous image where I had those black flags in use, I have more contrasty edges, and it will define the product a little bit more and it will make it pop from the background. That's better than the right one. Right one is having this glare all over the image and it gets a bit gray and it's not so contrasty anymore. So let's add back in our black flags on the background, and then we can have another small, tiny small adjustment that will give us even more better results. So let's put this one here, and the other one goes somewhere in here. And now if you want to define your edges even more, then it's possible to add in those additional flags that I have shown you in my previous videos. So let's take these as well. And with these flags, it's possible to define the edges even more. So let's put these onto the side of the product here. And the other one is for the left side. And now let's take another shot and let's compare this one with our first image where we had the flags only on the far away background. In here you can also see major difference how the edges are coming out from the white, and it is looking much contrastier as it was before. So in this case here, this is really nice looking image, and you should only light up the label just a little bit. You can do that in post, no need to do anything in here, but it's possible just to add large diffusion material in front of the camera, and I'm using just large piece of paper, and I have cut the hole in the middle so I can put my lens through this reflector. So this is what I'm talking about. I will use this large piece of paper in front of the camera, and then I can illuminate my golden label that I see on the product. So let's try it out. Just quickly, let's place it here in front of the camera, and let's take the shot. And what we have a massive difference between the old image. So let's see, if we put these two side by side, then you can see right one is the new image, the latest with the reflector, and the left one was without the reflector. And you can see there is a massive difference. So there is just one simple additional trick that I did. I added reflector in front of the camera, and that's it. It improves your images so much and you get much better results. And now if you think about it, I don't have to Photoshop anything in here. This is ready image. Only thing I need to do, I need to remove dust if there is any, and cut it out onto the white background, and that's it. All right, that's my first example. It looks really good with this custom setup that I have in here. So next one, let's try something different. Let's take a brighter product, for example, and we can have another one here which is not that dark anymore, but it is a bit brighter. So all I need to do is place it roughly in the same position that I had my last one, take the shot, and what I have is perfect image. It has beautiful contrasty edges, background is looking very good, and the product itself is perfect. Now another thing I can do, I can again add in my white board reflector in front of the camera just to illuminate the front of the product as well. Let's see, how does it look? Let's try it out. We'll put it in here. And let's just quickly take the shot, and I think it's going to be beautiful. It looks beautiful. Comparing to the last image that we just took, it's brighter and it's exactly what we need. We have beautiful edges, label clearly visible, that's it. I would send this one into the editing. And sometimes it depends highly on the client. Sometimes some clients want to have this even lighting on the product as it is right now. It's kind of, for me, it is more like majority of clients who want to have even lighting on both sides. But sometimes they want to have some shadows on the product just to create the dimension and bring out the shape of the product so it doesn't look so flat. And for that, I just turn off one flash. And if I turn this one off, then I don't have to do anything else. I turn my flash off and I keep my white board on the side, and now I use only that flash for illuminating the product. And this flash is also reflecting onto that plexi board, and then this one will act as a reflector, not a separate light source. And therefore I'm able to create beautiful shadow on the left side of the product. So if I try it out now, then now you can see this nice shadow that is on the left side. Of course, right now it is a bit too strong, but if I want to illuminate the label a little bit more, then I will just take my reflector again, put it in front of the camera, and let's take the shot. And this is much better. This is what we need. So it depends on the client. I have both types of clients who are asking this image, or sometimes they want the other one. So let's take another one. Another one is a bit more glossy, and it has really glossy golden elements on the label, which usually makes it really difficult to illuminate. But let's see, how does it work out? And let's just place it in here. Now let's take the first shot. Let's see what happens. That's good, good starting point. Only thing now I'm missing is the reflector in front of the camera. Let's add it in. And let's take another shot. And you can see a massive difference in here. It's already looking really good. The gold is coming out, it shines, and it looks good. And that's all we need. We have beautiful edges, contrasty edges, glossy gold, and that's ready to go into editing. So let's take another one. Now, if I want to shoot, for example, white products on the white background, white on white is the trickiest product image that you can get. So let's see how our setup will handle white products. Let's try it out, take the shot, and as you can see, it looks beautiful. It has double flags, larger ones on the background. We have second set of the flags on the side of the product, and therefore we get this beautiful contrasty edge on the product. And once you put it on the white background, you will get beautiful contrasty product image. That's it, that's all you need. And I can show you the difference when I take away those flags from the side. Simple change. And when I go here, now you see those edges are much brighter and they start to disappear a little bit onto the background, but not that much because we have those black flags on the background as well. So if we put it side by side here, then you can see how strong is the edge reflection here. And now I will show you how would it look if I remove also those black flags. The difference will be quite noticeable. Let's see. Let's take off these flags from the background. And then I can just quickly show you that those little things here on the background are making very big difference. Another shot, and here we are. Can you see the difference? This is what we need when we are shooting products, especially white products on white background. We need those black flags. This is very important because on the right image, as you can see, those edges start to disappear or blend into the background. So once you are cutting this onto the white, seamless white background, then those edges are not so contrasty anymore as it is on the left one. So even if we take the very first where we had this double layer of black flags, then this very first image is looking the best in my opinion. The only thing I need to do here is just to little bit brighten up, and that's it. That's all we need. Maybe in this case we should add our front reflector in here, and that might work. Let's try it out. I will reattach my flags and I will add in this reflector. And now I will take one image just to show you how it looks without the reflector. And now I will add in my large reflector in front of the camera. And this is something that will make a huge difference. Check it out. This is with the reflection. And as you can see, this product had golden elements on the label. We didn't see that before, but now as we are using this reflector, we are seeing all the details on the label that was not visible before. So this is a massive difference. On the left image you see just a black logo, but actually it wasn't black, it was golden. So these details are important. If you would send the left image to the client, then it would come back from the client with a comment that logo and the name of the product is in wrong color. That's it. And you need to reshoot it again. And it takes your time, it's difficult, it's annoying, and you are wasting your money in this case. But right away, using a reflector in front of the camera, and that's it, you get perfect results. Let's move on. Let's try now something really glossy. Let's take this black metal can and let's take this one as our next model. Take the shot, and what we see now, we have this really beautiful contrasty image. Sides, edges are looking really good. Label also is looking very good, and in here I really wouldn't do anything. This one would go into editing as it is right now. I can adjust a little bit those black flags. Maybe I can do it so that I will turn these in an angle, and when shooting like that I don't get so strong black line on the edge. I get them a bit thinner, and this I think even looks better. Yep, let's take these two side by side, and this is looking really good. It's very nice. We have beautiful reflection on the product on both sides, and the whole product is coming out from the background so nicely. And if I try to add in my reflector, then I don't think that it helps me much, but in my opinion this is too much right now. If I put these two side by side, then although the label is brighter, it looks better, then I still like left one more because there I have more dimension on the product. I have those reflections, those stripes, and I have some shades on the product which is looking better for me. Maybe in post I would just brighten up the letters a little bit, and that's it. That's all I need to do. Okay, so now we are ready to take another one. For this one, this was glossy, so let's take next step further and let's try transparent product. Let's see what happens if I shoot transparent products like this. Let's keep the flags on and take the shot. Let's see. This is almost what we need. We need to illuminate the label a little bit just to bring out the gold, because this product is also having this golden big logo on the label. And I think that's all we need to do. Maybe if I want to bring out the sides a little bit more, then I can just bring those flags exactly onto the side of the products, and therefore I get this a bit contrasty edge. And now let's add in our reflector and let's see what happens. Take the shot. Beautiful. Golden label is clearly visible. It looks really good, and that's it. That's all we need to do. Maybe on this one I still feel that it's not so good. Inside the bottle I see those darker areas, like so. Do you know what this is? This is our background that is visible through the bottle. In order to remove those darker areas, I need to isolate the background so that I will move it as close as possible to the product. And for this product, I just need to remove those back black flags. Let's try it out. Just quickly take these off. And now let's go and move this background closer, as close as possible. Let's take off this one, or we can actually already use it for our shot. And can you see what happened? Those dark areas, comparing to the previous image, you see those areas are gone. It is because those black flags on the background were visible throughout the bottle, and it's not really nice looking product when it's having those darker areas inside the bottle. Instead, it would look much better if it is golden, shiny, with a beautiful gradient inside the bottle. That's perfect. I will send this one into editing, that's it. And one little trick. So can you see those dark areas here? Just one additional point that I want to make and to show you. These dark lines in here, these lines, we can take these off already during the shoot. This is something that was because I didn't move my reflector, my front reflector, properly in front of the camera. This dark line is the gap between my plexiglass and my white reflector. And this is something that I can take away by just simply moving the side of the white board closer. And now you can see it's gone. Simple as that. Just place your reflector correctly in front of the camera and that's it. You have beautiful, clean image. This, I think, is finished. So all of these products we are able to shoot on that setup without changing anything massively. This is our kind of fine-tuned setup that we just slightly changed, and pretty much the only thing that we did was to play around with the flags and with the front reflector. Depending if we need to add some light on the product label, we can use the front reflector, or if we want to emphasize those edges or remove some darker areas from the transparent products, then we just remove the black flags. And that's it. And you have this consistent result throughout the whole shoot. And no matter what the product is, you can still get the results that are good for the client, and everybody will be happy with these images. So this is my setup. It might look like really rocket science in the beginning, but actually it's really simple. Only 3 lights we have here. We have diffusion material as a background and glossy surface as a table, and also plexiglass on the side. And that's it. That's all we need to create beautiful, contrasty, nice looking images. Of course, you can use this setup with softboxes, so that you don't have those plexi boards on the side, but you just have softboxes, and you get pretty much the same look, especially when you're shooting matte products. But I like to use it this way, and it gives me more freedom, and this way I like the results that I get. So that's it. This is my setup that I use every day for white background product images. I hope you got some tips and tricks from this one, and try it out. If you have any questions about the things that maybe I didn't explain, then let me know in the comments and I will be happy to answer those. And in the meantime, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.